Welcome to the Watt Hour. I'm your host, William Hadala, Vice President at American Lithium Energy. For over 2 decades, I've been working at the intersection of energy, autonomy, defense, and national security, leading teams that develop breakthrough technologies and scale them from lab bench to battlefield. And today we're pulling back the curtain on one of the most overlooked yet most consequential topics in modern warfare: power. This isn't about wall plugs or car batteries. It's about how energy, stored, delivered, and trusted, will shape the outcome of tomorrow's conflicts. In this episode, we'll explore how advanced battery technologies like those we're building here at American Lithium Energy are redefining the battlefield. Now, from directed energy weapons to autonomous drones, wearables, edge compute, and beyond. Because in the 21st century, it's not just about firepower, it's about electrical power, and the side that controls it wins. Let's get started. Wars are no longer won by brute force alone. The battlefield is becoming faster, smarter, and far more electrified. The next war won't just be about superior firepower or air dominance. It will be about energy superiority. Think about it. Every sensor, every drone, every satellite, and every autonomous vehicle is hungry for power. If your system runs out of energy before your adversaries, your platform becomes a target, or worse, a liability. This presentation explores why advanced battery technology is no longer behind the scenes, but instead one of the most strategic enablers of modern warfare. We'll talk about why power storage is becoming as important as precision weapons and how American Lithium Energy is leading the charge. Let's dive into what's changing on the battlefield. The modern battlefield doesn't look like it did in the 20th century. It's no longer defined by tanks and trenches. It's defined by data, precision, and speed, and all of it is powered. Traditional conflicts relied heavily on diesel generators and fuel convoys, but in today's operating environments, from underground urban combat to the upper atmosphere, those energy strategies fall apart. The reality is this: modern weapon systems are no longer just about kinetic force. They're integrated platforms, computing, sensing, communicating, all in real time. They depend on silent, mobile, and high-performance energy storage. You can't fly an autonomous ISR drone with gasoline. You can't power next-gen jammers or laser systems with fossil fuels. The shift we're seeing is profound. Batteries have moved from a support item to a frontline necessity, and the Department of Defense knows this. They're investing billions into next-gen energy storage to ensure the warfighter has the energy needed to survive, maneuver, and dominate. This shift is driving urgency across the military supply chain, from microgrids to cell chemistries, and it's only accelerating. Let's be brutally honest about what the old way cost us. In Iraq and Afghanistan, fuel convoys were the most targeted logistical element on the battlefield. The U.S. military learned a hard lesson. For every 24 convoys moving fuel through hostile territory, 1 soldier died, not from direct enemy combat, but from protecting the supply line. Now think about what that means. Our greatest vulnerability wasn't just the front lines, it was the fuel behind them. This is the unsustainable legacy of 20th century logistics. It creates risk, consumes resources, and limits how far forward we can push. By shifting toward energy-dense, portable battery systems, we reduce these vulnerabilities significantly. Imagine instead of a convoy of fuel trucks, you deploy with high-rate lithium-ion packs. They're safe, silent, stored on site. They eliminate the need to expose lives just to move fuel. This is why energy storage isn't just a tech decision, it's a tactical and strategic transformation, one that saves lives and changes the calculus of risk on every mission. Modern weapons aren't just more powerful, they're smarter. Let's take a basic drone. It doesn't just fly, it receives GPS, streams encrypted data, avoids radar, and adjusts flight dynamically using onboard AI. All of that requires energy, and not just any energy. It requires high discharge, stable, lightweight power systems. Now multiply that by every platform we're fielding: loitering munitions with onboard decision-making, directed energy weapons that demand high instantaneous power, robotic dogs, and autonomous logistics platforms in denied areas. This is the battlefield of today and tomorrow. Weapons that compute, sense, and maneuver demand high-rate energy, and if that energy fails, the entire platform is compromised. So the question is simple: will your power system be ready when your weapon is? At American Lithium Energy, our answer is yes. and we've built the tech to prove it. The Department of Defense understands what's at stake. Battery technology is no longer an afterthought or an accessory. It's mission-critical infrastructure, and they're responding. Strategic financing, other transaction agreements, broad agency announcements, small business technology transfer, industrial base analysis, Defense Production Act Title III, and sustainment program. These are just a few of the programs the U.S. is using to rapidly accelerate domestic energy storage capabilities. Why? Because batteries are now central to warfighting capability, communication gear in underground or denied environments, laser systems that draw megawatts in seconds, exosuits and wearables that can't be tethered to a generator. It's a paradigm shift, and not just in platforms. This is changing how we design missions, how we sustain operations, and how we define advantage. If you control the energy, you control the mission. Let's talk about what sets American Lithium Energy apart. We're not a packager. We're not just assembling off-the-shelf cells. We design and manufacture our own chemistry, our own form factor, and our own safety systems, right here in the U.S. Here's what our cells offer. This battery can discharge at 50 to 100 times its rated capacity, delivering massive current on demand for pulse systems or heavy draw. Temperature resilience from minus 45 degrees Celsius to plus 70 degrees Celsius, whether you're in the Arctic or in orbital flight. 0-volt technology, we pioneered it to ensure safe transport and indefinite storage even after full discharge. Safe core, an internal thermal fuse that stops catastrophic failure before it starts. Chemistries that exceed 400 watt-hour per kilogram, and standardization of cells for Group 1, 2, and 3 UAV pouch cells. What you get isn't just a battery. You get a trusted power source designed to survive where most can't. And that's why agencies like DARPA, Space Force, and defense primes choose to work with us. Let's shift to a national perspective, energy sovereignty. Today, 80% of battery-grade materials are controlled by foreign nations, many of them geopolitical adversaries. That's a supply chain vulnerability we can't afford. At American Lithium Energy, we're committed to domestic production, NDAA-compliant sourcing, and transparent manufacturing. We build everything right here, from the anode to the final cell, with complete U.S. traceability. What does this mean for defense programs? No delays from overseas suppliers, no risks from adversarial control, complete compliance with the Buy American Act and ITAR. We're enabling not just better batteries, but a secure industrial base for U.S. national security. Modern warfare is about agility, speed, and sustainability. Advanced batteries check every box. By using high-density energy storage, we reduce the need for heavy logistics, eliminate noisy detectable generators, enable silent operations, extend system uptime dramatically. Whether you're operating a drone swarm or powering a forward operating base, batteries reduce risk and increase lethality. This is about force multiplication. The more you electrify, the less you rely on vulnerable supply chains, and the more adaptable you become. So who's stepping up? ALE is delivering the cells, engineered, qualified, and manufactured in California. RavenSafe and KTTS are integrating our tech into battlefield-ready platforms. Space Force has awarded Strat-5 funds to accelerate our scale-up. JPL and DARPA are pushing boundaries with us in aerospace and autonomy. This isn't speculative. This is real, it's funded, it's in progress, and we're ready to scale from thousands to millions of units. This is how we win the future of power. What you see here isn't just a quote. It's a new doctrine for modern warfare. For over a century, oil was the dominant force behind every military operation. It moved armies, powered ships, fueled air superiority. But today, that paradigm is collapsing under the weight of new technology. We're entering an age where energy must be silent, instantaneous, and mobile, where electrons, not gasoline, are powering the systems that define dominance in every domain: land, sea, air, space, and cyberspace. But here's the challenge. You can't win with just any energy. You need high-rate, safe, resilient, and mission-ready power systems, batteries that can handle the extremes, perform without failure, and integrate seamlessly into every platform, from autonomous drones to directed energy weapons. That's what this quote means. It's not metaphor, it's literal. Wars will be won by those who can store energy safely, deploy it instantly, and keep critical systems alive when everything else shuts down. That's the future we're building at American Lithium Energy, and that's the mission behind today's episode of the Watt Hour. Let's explore what this future really looks like and how we win it. In the 21st century, wars will be won with electrons. Delivered at speed, stored safely, and deployed wherever the mission demands. And at AL, we're not waiting for that future. We're building it now. If you're a prime, a policymaker, a program manager, or a technologist, let's talk. We want to collaborate, innovate, and deploy faster than our adversaries can adapt. If you believe in energy dominance, national security, and American manufacturing, you're already part of this mission. Thank you for watching the Watt Hour. I'm William Hadala. Subscribe, share, and join us as we electrify Earth and beyond.